Hi everyone, Carolyn Russin, professional life coach here. Thank you for joining me today. Before I jump in, I know many of you have been asking me about my new puppy. I had him on my Facebook Live last week. He's in a picture on one of my posts today. It's a little Kobe, and Kobe is doing very well. We've had him for about a week and a half now, and he's just down in his bed right now, just chilling out. We're just kind of feeling each other out right now, and he's doing really well, really well. Hi, Kathy. So thanks for those of you who've been asking. I'll, throw in a not picture here and there of him because he is awfully darling. Hi, Lisa. Anyway, today I want to jump into living the dream, but are you feeling empty? And that's something that so many of my clients are going through. And it's something that I went through. And what I really want to do is to paint the picture as to why and how this happens. Because so many of us, we end up in our late 40s into our 50s, even early 60s. Hi, Lisa. And we're like, what the hell? Like, what happened? Like, I've worked so hard in my life, whatever that looks like, in your career, raising kids, both, whatever. You know, I've got a great relationship, got a beautiful home, whatever, but I'm not happy. And how does that even make sense? And where do I even go with that at this point in my life? So as an example, I'm going to give you a little insight as to what happened to me. And this will kind of paint the picture as to how we end up in this situation. So jump back a few decades. And I've always been a very driven, motivated person. So I began my career as a teacher. And some of you know some of this already, but I enjoyed teaching, but I knew early on this was not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So pretty early into teaching, I started taking courses and moving my way up. And by the time I was 31, I was a vice principal. As a VP, again, it was one of those odd things. I was bored and yet busy and overwhelmed with life and everything. And after I became a VP, I actually got pregnant. I was married before, got pregnant. My first pregnancy, I had twins. I had twin boys. They're now 20. So it was a little busy. And my husband travels a lot. So here I'm trying to be this super mom, to do everything perfectly because I've always been a pleaser. So of course I need to please everyone. And as a pleaser, what that means is my needs go to the bottom of the list. Just not important, because to me, if I'm going to make people happy, I need to look after everyone else. And looking after two little babies on my own a lot of the time, there was no time for me. No time. Hi, Harriet. I ended up going back to work for about a year, and my husband stayed home at that point. And again, I went back and I'm like, I'm not loving this. And I got pregnant again with my daughter. So I ended up having 3 kids within 2.5 years. So again, really busy. So I decided at that point to stay home until they're all in school full time. So I had to resign from my job because they weren't going to keep it for the 4 or 5 years. So again, here I am, this really motivated, driven woman whose career has now been put on hold. So to prove my worth as a human being, in my mind, I've got to be the best mom there is. So I'm, again, throwing all my time and effort into my kids, my husband, my family, everything. My needs, ignored. But I'm getting fulfilled by this. I'm getting something out of this because I'm feeling like a damn good pleaser. Like I'm doing a really good job here because everyone else is happy. It doesn't matter that my needs have been ignored. Not then, but you just wait. So then we move on. My youngest starts grade 1 and is about to start grade 1, and I called the board because again, it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do? Even though I knew as a VP I wasn't happy, I called to say, hey, what do I have to do to come back? Because I knew as a mom that the best thing for my family right then was for me to go back and do that, opposed to something else, because I had to be the rock. My husband travels a lot. We knew that someone had to be here outside of school hours. So I called to go back. I'm back before we know it. And again, I'm like, what am I doing? But again, it's a sacrifice for my family. So I give up my needs, what's going to make me happy. Now, we laugh about it now, and I talk to a lot of my clients about this, as far as sometimes when you don't listen to those little messages you get from the universe, God, whoever you believe in, those messages get louder and louder. Mine got pretty loud. I was ignoring, and I suffered my third concussion. That forced me out of education, because back then I was told I could never work full time. Kind of proving them wrong. But anyway, again, the driven side of me. So long story short, here I am then trying to look after myself and get better. And what was the driving force? The driving force were my kids. They were really little at the time when this happened. So even though I felt like absolute crap, and I didn't want to get out of bed in the morning because I was in so much pain, was feeling so horribly, it was like, you get out of bed, you put a smile on your face, and let's get going. So again, that was a good thing for me to get me going, but I neglected a lot of my needs. It was about being the perfect mom. Because if I couldn't be a vice principal, if I didn't have a career, then I better be doing something else really, really well. So as you see, this picture of trying to be the best I can for everyone else has forced me, hi Leanne, to neglect my needs. And then it gets to a point where you're looking at, and I went through the same thing. You know, I've got a wonderful husband. He adores me. He is amazing. I have 3 awesome kids. We have a beautiful home. You know, I had a great career then before I switched, and it was like, but I'm not happy. How is it possible I'm not happy? And then it's almost embarrassing. You can't, how do you share with somebody else that you have it all, but you're not happy? But this is what I come across all the time with my clients, is they've gotten to this point in life, they seem to have it all, but they're not happy. And it's because we have spent all our lives focusing on other people and on other people's needs. So now when you get to a point where you can actually breathe, your kids are getting older, maybe they've moved out, or maybe you have adult children like I do living at home, and so they don't have the same demand on your time. And now all of a sudden you have that time to breathe and think, okay, what now? And I know when I ask women, if I could now give you extra time in your day, what would you want to do with it? And I would say 95% of the time, it's like looking at a deer in the headlights. They have no idea because they've never had that opportunity. They don't know what they want to do anymore because they don't even know what they like. So getting to that point, it's not surprising. I've lived it. I've been through it. I've come out the other side, that's for sure. And that's what I help my clients do. And time again, I work with people or with women that get to that point and they're stuck and they just want someone to show them the way, that they're tired and they don't even know where to even start, but they know what they deserve. They know that there's more to life and that they want to feel their joy again, that they want to discover themselves again. Anyway, if this is something you can relate to, give me a thumbs up down below. And I know that many of you people, this is a lot of you, this is what you're thinking, and this is what I hear all the time. That's why, sorry, I put out a promo this week. Sorry, a frog in my throat. And check out the posts. And I have a special offer for those of you who are in this situation where enough is enough. I just want to feel joy again. Anyway, if you'd like to connect, type yes below. I can certainly set up a free call and see what this would look like for you. And have a great day. Take care.